Hey, welcome back with Kyle and Jack here. I'm Jack.
I'm Kyle, of course.
A few things we'll talk about before we get started. One of the things, Larry has set up a backing course, kind of a competition-style backing course to help with truck driving championships. Kind of cool.
Yeah.
Larry has been working on that, been out there with us, measuring everything off, getting it just right. So if you guys ever come by the yard, stop in and see Larry, go out there and try your hand at it. It's pretty cool. We was working on that yesterday. Had a few guys out there, Rick and Steve, come out and was doing that with us.
Right on. That's great.
What you got?
Hey, yeah, so we got some birthdays this week, guys. Happy birthday, of course, if I say your name. We got John Tedder. Happy birthday, John. Dominic Walker. Terrence Sinter. William Ross. Thomas Stoudemire. Stephen Rogers. Just saw you yesterday, Steve. Thanks for coming in. Vernon Jones. Robert Hedrick. Brett Gilliott. Bobby Saucy. It's not your name. I'm sorry. Bobby Tossi. Sorry. Richard McDonald, Brian Lee, Michael Furtick, Stephen Tate, Ryan Pareto, Johnny White, and Trevor Riley. Happy birthday, guys. Hope it's a great week for you. Hope it's a great year.
Happy birthday, guys. A few of those guys have been here a long time.
Mm-hmm.
That's off. Now off to the anniversaries, 2-year anniversaries. Breonna Wilson and Jewel Hawkins. That's the 2-year anniversaries. 3-year anniversaries. That's going to be Brandon Hunt, Sean Carwile, Julie and Raymond Vines, and also Edmund Hendricks and James Davis. That's your 3-year guys. 4 years, Jesse Crisco. And 6 years, here we go, we're getting up there. Philip Quesada. 9 years, Kelly Yeager. She just paid off a truck, her and her husband. And 10 years, here's a big one. Park and Cindy Whitney.
All right.
Yeah, Park won the OTA Driver of the Year a couple years ago.
Hey.
And then also Michael Bevins on the 10-year. Also now on the 11-year, and he was here yesterday. Daryl McRunnell.
All right.
Hey, happy anniversary, guys.
Thanks.
So cool. Big achievements.
Absolutely. Thanks for sticking with us, guys. We're looking forward to many, many more years with you. All right, so guys, typically I go over a violation that we're seeing a lot in, recently, but I actually want to talk about violation prevention, something that we can do every day to help cut down on violations that you might get day to day. It's a really simple thing. It's something that you have to do every day. It's our policy, of course. It's pre-trip and post-trip inspections. Now, JCT's policy is for 15 minutes on the pre-trip inspections and 6 minutes on the post-trip inspections.
Exactly.
Something that we hear a lot is that the FMCSA actually doesn't require you to do a certain amount of time at all. It just states that you need to do one. However, like 15 minutes, it should take you 15 minutes to do a proper inspection. You guys might remember whenever you got your CDL, you had to go through a full inspection. How long did that typically take you?
Depending on the states, it's anywhere from 30 to 45 minutes to do full truck and trailer the way DOT lays it out.
So all we're asking is for 15 minutes minimum. And that's just to make sure that, again, that your truck is in working order, that you can catch anything that might be looking out of sorts, that you might need to get worked on. Just think of it like stretching before a marathon. You're not going to start a marathon without actually doing the proper work to make sure that your body is in working order. You want to make sure you're taking the precautions to ensure a perfect day out there on the road. Now, you might think that, what is this going to actually do for me? It's just a small thing. But it can do several things for you. It can prevent violations. It can, in fact, prevent accidents. It can prevent a small problem on your truck becoming an even bigger problem, which we all know can lead to downtime of you not getting paid. So all of this is in service of making sure that you get money, that the company gets money, and also that everybody's safe out there on the road.
Yeah, proactive's better than reactive.
Absolutely. So yeah, one thing you also want to keep in mind, this will help your career going forward. One, it's just good practice. You guys are professionals out there. You need to make sure you're doing the proper things at the beginning of your day, just to make sure that you can continue doing what we're doing here, of course. But it also helps as far as your MVR and your PSP. If you get a violation, for not checking something, let's say there's an airline with some chafing on it. That's something you should be checking every day. You get a violation on that. You get too many of those accrued on your MVR and PSP. Further in your career, if you go to another company, they might see that and say like, hey, we're going to pass on this guy. He's got 5 violations. He obviously doesn't care about his pre-trip and post-trip inspections. So again, just make sure you're doing those inspections correctly. It'll help your fellow drivers out there on the road, and it also helps us continue to do this thing that we do. again, stay safe, guys. Make sure you're doing your proper inspections. And with that, I'm going to give this off to my main man, Jack Wallace.
All right, guys, we'll talk a little bit about intersection safety today. I know it's kind of a little redundant, and it's stuff that we all know, but just kind of a nice little friendly reminder here, because you know, bad habits creep in, and after you do something incorrect for so long, then it kind of becomes normal. So we want to kind of avoid that. So one of the main things I want to talk about at intersections such as stop signs or intersections with a light. Okay, one thing, the most dangerous time to be in or around an intersection is within the first 2 seconds of a light change, mainly due to red light runners, right? And a couple other things we need to make sure we do. We need to make sure that when we come up to that intersection, if we are the first vehicle there, we want to make sure we stop a short distance behind the stop line or a short distance behind the stop sign. One, in case we're rear-ended, we don't want to get knocked into that crosswalk or into that intersection, right? Because that's going to make the problem, of course, worse.
Right.
Also, we want to stop to where we can completely and totally see that entire crosswalk. One of the most dangerous things that happens is a driver pulls up and stops beyond the stop line and stops right on top of that crosswalk. If somebody's in that crosswalk and that light turns green, if they're directly in front of the truck, you can't see them. And unfortunately, this is an accident that has happened many times. So we want to make sure we stop far enough back where we can see that. Also, with stop signs, a bad problem is, if you stop behind a stop sign, can you see? Not usually. You got trees and things blocking your vision, signs. So we have a bad habit of rolling past that stop sign to where, actually the stop sign's back here by our door or beside the sleeper, but we stopped where we can see. Legally, we just rolled that stop sign. So we want to make sure that we stop behind that stop sign so we're not actually rolling a stop sign. Okay. Also, one of the things I want to talk about is when you're the second or third vehicle at a light or a stop sign. We want to make sure we stop with enough distance between us and the car in front of us to where in a truck we can see their tires touch the pavement. If we can see the tires of the vehicle in front of us touch the pavement, then we've got ample space in case we're rear-ended, we're not knocked into that vehicle, hopefully, so we have that space. And keep in mind, once the light turns green, it takes 1 second for every vehicle to react. So if you're the third, fourth, fifth car in line, it's going to be, that light turns green, it's going to take 5 seconds before you even take your foot off the brake to proceed. And I always like to hesitate 2 seconds before I enter an intersection due to the red light runners and stuff like that. Now, a big major problem we do see here at JCT, lights on red. Guys, keep in mind, it is not legal in every state to make a right on red. And even the states where it is legal to make a right on red, it may not be legal for a commercial motor vehicle. I've talked to a lot of guys that, instructors at schools and different things like that, they teach their drivers at these driving schools not to ever make a right on red, just to wait for the green light, because it's so iffy on which state it is okay and which state it's not okay. Now, so we want to make sure that we're not making a right on red in a state where it is illegal. You know, you can look that up. It's kind of hard to. On a commercial vehicle, I really don't like making a right on red. Now, if you are in a situation where you do make a right on red, keep in mind, you do have to treat that like a stop sign. If I come up to a light, the light's red, I'm the first vehicle there, I'm making a right, I need to complete a stop. We have a bad habit right now with a lot of drivers, I'm catching it on the smart drive, where guys come up to a red light, they're making a right, and they just make their right and go on. They never stop. Guys, that is illegal. If there is a DOT officer or an officer around, you will get cited for it. Also, keep in mind, actually we've had a couple accidents of late because of that. Not seeing a vehicle that was an oncoming vehicle. I hope that helps. I hope that kind of corrects some bad habits out there, guys. I know most everybody knows this. So, what you got for closing for us?
Yeah, guys, just thanks for tuning in again. Of course, share this with your friends. Let us know in the comments if you can drop us a like, drop us a comment. Let us know what you'd like to see. If you have any ideas or any sort of information about what we've talked about today, we'd love to hear about it. Again, thanks, Katrina, for helping out with the production of this and everything.
Yes, thank you, Miss Katrina.
Thanks for tuning in, guys. Hope to see you next week. Thank you.
All right, drop those comments. Be safe.